Welcome to this December's ICAAR update. I'm Jared Ruth, your president of the Iowa City Area Association of Realtors.
And I'm Megan Flewellyn, your CEO.
Today, we're going to be covering a wide variety of topics. There's some changes out of the Iowa Real Estate Commission in regards to disclosure. We have new statuses on the MLS, why we're doing that and what they mean. We have a lot of cool upcoming events, a lot of volunteer opportunities, and we'll get into some other fun 2026 things. Administrative changes from the Iowa Real Estate Commission.
Yes.
What do we need to know?
Yes. So these are any changes that have happened throughout the year. So even though session kind of ends around May, then they have the rest of the year to kind of finalize those administrative rules. So the biggest one that's coming out or that may be new to agents is that now you guys are able to carry over CE after your license renewal.
I think that's great. A lot of people, you have extra CEs at the end of the year. You're not sure what to do with them. We used to just have to kind of let them slide.
Yes. So the first thing is that now agents are able to carry over CE credit from a prior license renewal period into a new license renewal period. So the kind of gritty details is that up to 18 hours of elective credits can be transferred over into a new license renewal period. But it must be from the immediately prior period. You cannot, let's say you're renewing at the end of 2025, you cannot be pulling CEs from 2017. It has to be that immediate past year, and it cannot apply for any of your mandatory education. So no law update rollover, no ethics rollover. But if you have any extra elective credits at the end of a license renewal period, you can roll up to 18 of those into next year.
And I know a lot of practitioners have been wanting that for some years now, as we seem to have some carryover if you're attending seminars and sessions and workshops. So that's nice to be able to carry that over with some stipulations.
Yes. So, and just as a best practice going forward, knowing that that's an option, start to keep your education certificates up to 6 years.
Sure.
It used to be 4 or 5, but you might as well hold on to those a little bit longer in case you are audited and you're using a prior period certificate.
Absolutely. And the way that those certificates are dispersed now make it fairly easy for folks to maybe find some cloud storage and put their certificates in there, and hopefully they don't have to touch them.
Yes. So that's an option for you guys.
Great. Regarding disclosures, there's some new updates that we must include on our local disclosures coming from state law, coming from eventual national EPA policy. What can you tell us about that?
Yes. So there is now mandatory language that must be on the seller's disclosure statement regarding if there is a known presence or if there ever has been a known presence of lead service water lines associated with that property.
Sure. So lead service water lines, that could include the line itself, the components to the line from the house, from the street, all of those would be subject to a seller's disclosure. What if they don't know if they have lead lines?
Yes. So at ICAAR, we just had our board meeting and we have voted to approve the new form that does have that language in there. So we're covered. We've got that language, but there is an option, just like everything else on the seller's disclosure, to say yes, no, does not apply, or unknown. So if you don't know, you still are able to select that unknown option.
So we're still talking about written buyer's agreements, which is now standard of practice and everybody's getting used to it. But it's nice to have some reminders or some housekeeping updates to share. What do you find important?
Yes. Number one, that you are always using a written buyer agreement. That is mandatory during a residential real estate transaction here in Iowa. So I think we've talked about it quite a bit. Most members by now know I do need to be using that form. But there is a little more clarification that came down from the state this year. One of those is that the length of time, right? You guys are all setting what is the duration of this written buyer agreement? Is it for just the weekend, just a couple weeks? Is it 6 months? There is a cap that it cannot exceed more than 1 year, the term of that contract.
Good to know. You mentioned exemptions or always using a written buyer's agreement for residential property. What are the exemptions for practitioners where you don't need a written buyer's agreement?
Yes. If you are doing a commercial property, if you're doing land, farm sales, if it's an auction, anything like that is exempt from the requirement. But if it is a standard residential transaction, you do need to have that written buyer agreement.
And it's always a good rule of thumb to check with your broker too, because each brokerage has different practices regarding where they want these agreements or not. So, so can these agreements transfer with the client to other practitioners?
No, and we've gotten a couple questions on that, but the listing belongs to the broker. The written buyer agreement also belongs to the broker. So written buyer agreements cannot be assigned, sold, or transferred to another agent within the brokerage or transferred to another brokerage if that agent decides to leave. When an agent does leave a brokerage, they cannot take or solicit clients that are tied to existing written agreements under that former brokerage.
So, Megan, we talked about some of the new clarification rules, some of the caps, some of the exemptions. What other important rules from your side of things do we as practitioners need to focus on?
Yes. I think a lot of members are great about knowing that, okay, this is a new policy. We must have those written buyer agreements. But just as a reminder, just like any contract that you're signing with a client, the second that they sign it, they need to also have their own copy of that signed document. So if you are meeting someone and you are getting this written buyer agreement signed in person ahead of a showing, for example, you need to either have a carbon copy available to that agent or to that client, or you can take a photo of it and send it to them, email it to them. But the second that that written buyer agreement is signed by the client, they need to have their own copy of that document.
That consumer copy is an integral part of some of this new clarification.
Yes. So just best practices to keep in mind as you guys are rolling with the new policies.
Okay, good to know. ICAAR's always up on all of these new changes, and we're constantly revising and updating our MLS and some of the policies and verbiage around the MLS particularly. We have some new status updates coming. Can you touch base on those status updates?
Yes. So earlier this month, ICAAR's Paragon MLS, we did some cleaning up of the statuses available for listings. And the reason that we did it, one, is there's some old statuses that were never used, so we cleaned those out. But also to make sure that the names of the statuses that we use are compliant with the terms that are used nationally. And what that really means is so then when the listings are feeding out to the public search portals, it is appearing more accurately because those national companies are able to categorize the listings more accurately. So the biggest change is that we introduced a new status type, and that is called active under contract. So that is when you have an active listing, you've accepted an offer, but your client would like to continue to show it, whether that's for backup offers or peace of mind, whatever it may be. You would then turn your listing from active to active under contract so that it's still available for showings. That's very understood. But it's clear to the other consumers, if they're looking at the house, that, hey, there's something going on here. It's already under contract. And hopefully that makes it easier for you all as agents to have that conversation.
And that active under contract essentially incorporates most of what we had with the contingent status previously.
Yeah. So contingent is the status that is going away. It's the kind of a dated term. It's not used as much nationally. And so there's two options here. If you have a accepted offer and you do want to continue to show the property, select active under contract. If you have an accepted offer and you don't plan on continuing to show the property and you're just working through those contingencies, you can now just move that property directly under pending. And it'll stay pending until it's time to close.
And these are all conversations our practitioners should be having with their sellers and explaining the new terms and what stage in the transaction that they are, and allow your sellers to make that best decision of the status that fits their needs.
Absolutely.
So active under contract, what other statuses are new?
That is the only new one, is that active under contract, and then just kind of the education behind, do I select active under contract or do I select going straight to pending? We did remove several statuses, again, just for cleanup purposes. So contingent is no longer there. Back on market is no longer there. Reduced price, increased price, and extended. All of those will now just show if you have an active property, they will display as active.
Wonderful. If it goes from pending back to active, would there be a notification mechanism within consumer search under Paragon? Would the consumer get notified that that pending property is now active status again?
If you're using the client collab center, if that's one that has been in their saved searches, absolutely. That would still appear as a saved search option.
Great. What do we need to do? What do agents need to do? Do we need to do anything?
Agents should not have to do anything. So we've already rolled out this update. It took about a day to fully work through the system. But as of now, all of the properties that were previously contingent, we did move to active under contract just to be safe. You can either keep it there active under contract if that applies, or just move it into pending if it is a pending listing. But otherwise, no changes need to be made on the agent side.
And these changes, as time goes on, everybody's kind of tightening up information, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible for the consumer who is viewing these listings on typically other search portals. So this is part improvement of that consumer experience, allows them to see the accurate information reflectedly in a timely manner, as well as maintaining compliance with some of the national and state laws that we have.
Yep, that's right. So yeah, reach out to us if you have any questions or issues, but we are moving in the right direction.
Great. Good work.
Thank you.
All right, let's shift into the community side of things. We just wrapped up ICAAR's Bring Home the Holidays. We were the headline sponsor with United Way's Adopt a Family program. Last year, they helped 200 families, over 200 families, with some Christmas or holiday assistance. How many did we have this year?
Again, a very large turnout for the program as a whole. Over 200 families are, again, working through the United Way Adopt a Family system.
Awesome. And ICAAR brokerages have adopted 7 individual families.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So a big thank you to any of our participating brokerages for this program. There were 7, but essentially those brokerages were able to adopt a family, receive wish lists from every member of that family. They went out and did all their shopping. And in fact, this week, they're kind of wrapping it up. So they are wrapping those gifts. They are getting those gifts delivered to their designated drop-off point. And pretty soon here, all the families will be able to experience that cheer.
That's awesome. It was fun. I did some shopping for our family at our brokerage, and it was fun picking out some of the toys and some of the clothes. I have some good historical context with kids the same age, so I hope that these families like their presents a lot.
Yes, I'm sure they will. So thank you for your office participating as well.
Pleasure. Megan, with community being so important for our organization and our members, we need some people. We need some volunteers. What are some programs and some opportunities that our members can get involved in here in the short term?
Yes, our very next one coming up is going to be our first volunteer opportunity of 2026. We are, of course, again, working with the Iowa City Free Lunch Program. And our next date with them is going to be Thursday, January 29th. So pretty soon you'll be seeing emails come out from ICAAR. But as always, we are looking for volunteers, whether you want to volunteer in person that day, prepare, serve, clean up food, or if you only got a few minutes and a couple bucks, we have the sign up to secure those food items, those ingredients, and you can just pay for those, buy them, drop them off at the free lunch program ahead of our event. Well,
that's great because a lot of times, like a lot of us, we're running out of time during the day, but we still want to get involved. So there is some opportunities financially that maybe don't take as much time as the allotted lunch slot.
Yeah. So however you want to participate, we would love to have you get involved.
Awesome. Let's talk about some other upcoming events that are exciting here and across the state. We have our Iowa Realtors Capital Conference coming up. I think some people are trying to coin the term CapCon. I'm not sure how that's going to land, but we'll see. So every year, this year's the 2026 Iowa Realtors Capital Conference. Realtors across the state. We go to Des Moines and we engage with local politicians regarding current issues, future planning, things of that nature. What do folks need to know about the Capital Conference?
Yes, registration will be opening soon, and we would love to see as many ICAAR members participate as possible. I think the most important day is that Hill Visit Day. So Capital Conference is a 3-day event, but that second day is the Hill Visit Day. And so even if you just come for one day, which many members do, it's that day that's the important day. There is a legislative luncheon available to all members up in Des Moines. You get a couple hours CE. You're going to listen to legal updates, legislative updates from both state and national levels. And then as a big, large group of Iowa realtors, we head over to the Capitol, and that's where we're able to discuss with legislators what are our advocacy initiatives for this legislative session. And the state association does a great job where if you're like, I don't know what our legislative sessions are. I'm not used to speaking to legislators in that capacity. They create handouts for you, very easy sheets saying, these are the talking points, these are the priorities. So even if it's your first time or you're not as comfortable in that environment, it's really great being able to have a strong turnout to say, look at all of these realtors that are here and that are passionate about the industry.
Iowa Realtors Capital Conference will be this year, February 3rd through 5th.
Well, you should be seeing the registration come out soon from Iowa Realtors. Would love to see as many ICAAR members there as possible. And yeah, just reach out if you've got questions.
Awesome. And locally, we have some save the dates too for some fun events coming up.
We do.
January 28th, we have our next quarterly broker meeting. Mm-hmm. And then what's February 24th? Tell me about that one.
Yes, we are bringing back the YPN Top Producer Panel, February 24th. And this year, it'll be at Hills Bank.
Awesome. I was there last year. It was really nice.
Yes. So more details to come, but the committee is already very excited planning that event.
Okay. And March 6th, we have some national stuff coming our way here locally. What's going on then?
Yes, ICAAR is teaming up with CRAAR, the Cedar Rapids Area Association of Realtors, and we're going to be hosting a NAR Broker Summit on Friday, March 6th. So we've been working behind the scenes for a few months now, but are really excited to be able to bring in leadership from NAR to talk to all of you guys. So any broker will be, of course, invited to attend that. We're going to have some legal updates, some national updates. There will be kind of a town hall Q&A session time available as well. So a little above and beyond our regular quarterly broker updates, but really excited to bring NAR straight to you guys.
Awesome. And we know you have your phones out, so make sure you put in these dates. More information will come, but just get it down. You'll have a great time and learn a lot too. We've covered a lot today. We have the Iowa Real Estate Commission changes. We are wrapping up Bring Home the Holidays here for ICAAR. Don't forget that January, plenty of opportunities to volunteer. February's full education. One of my favorites is coming up, YPN's Top Producer Panel. And then in March, again, pencil this down. You're not going to want to miss this. We're teaming up with Cedar Rapids Area Association for a NAR Broker Summit. Both of those latter, more information to come. You can check out all of our information, our upcoming events class, and other important info online at www.icaar.org. Well, that's it for us this month on ICAAR's podcast. Wishing everybody a happy holiday and a great new year.